Welcome to the premiere episode of All That You Need to Know. I am your host, your friendly neighborhood J-Man. In the pantheon of magic wielders in the DC Universe, one of the most powerful to ever cast a spell is Zatanna. Created by Gardner Fox and artist Murphy Anderson, Zatanna Zatanna, goddamn, did they love alliteration back then. Anyway, Zatanna Zatanna made her DC Comics debut in Hawkman number 4 back in October-November of 1964. In that particular issue, Hawkman, on a very special investigation to the lost city of Yin, finds a woman dressed in a magician's outfit speaking gibberish in some miscellaneous bad guy's hideout. Meanwhile, over in Ireland, Hawkgirl happens upon an identically attired woman speaking gibberish as well. What do you do when you find identical out-of-place white chicks separated by miles dressed as magicians speaking in tongues? Of course, you take them to your Thangarian spaceship. Duh. Anyway, long story short, it turns out that Zatanna was in search of her missing father, the great Giovanni Zatanna. Zatanna heard that he may have been in either China or Ireland, so she cast a spell to split herself in two, and hijinks ensued, thus beginning Zatanna's career in the DCU. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what makes Zatanna so special anyway, besides those bitchin' fishnets? Well, I'll tell you. Zatanna is one of the most powerful magicians in the DC Universe. She's what they call a homo magi, that is, a human born with the ability to manipulate magic. Zatanna's genetic makeup allows her to manipulate magic she was born with, as well as learned magic. The daughter of magician Giovanni Zatanna, who, by the way, made his first appearance in the DCU in Action Comics number 1, June of 1938, alongside another little-known superhero called Superman. Zatanna followed in her father's footsteps by becoming a stage illusionist before realizing her full potential as a real magician. As a tribute to her old man, Zatanna would go as far as to match her missing father's look, right down to the fishnets. Of course, Giovanni didn't wear those, at least out in public. As a point of focus, and as another shout out to her old man, Zatanna casts her spells by saying them backwards.
Tornado never knew my moves.
And I bet you've got some good ones. Well, sorry, that may have come off a little too wally.
I don't mind.
Limits of her powers haven't ever been really defined. However, she can overdo it. Much like an athlete, overuse of her powers can deplete them, with only a long restorative rest bringing her back up to full strength. Some of Zatanna's greatest feats include bringing Metropolis back from ruin in Adventures of Superman 522 and stabilizing a hole in a time-space continuum in Justice League Dark 38 and 39. But her most pivotal role would come in 2004's Identity Crisis. After a vote that included The Flash, Black Canary, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Hawkman, and the Atom, Zatanna would first mind-wipe Dr. Light after he raped Elongated Man's wife, Sue Dibney, and then threatened the members of the Justice League's families. I don't know. Some people love Identity Crisis. But wait! It gets better, because Batman would unknowingly walk in on the mind wipe, mid-wipe, and that sounds really wrong. Of course, he's totally against Zatanna doing the wipe, and it was voted by the same aforementioned heroes that Batman should be mind wiped as well, which Zatanna does. Bad. Nobody mind wipes the Batman. He eventually would find out, which of course would displease him to no end. All that business was all pre-New 52 though, so who knows where Zatanna and Batman stand with each other at this point in time. In recent years, Zatanna's made her way out of the comics and into other forms of media. She's been portrayed by Serinda Swan in the TV show Smallville. She's been voiced by Julie Brown in Batman the Animated Series, by Jennifer Hale in Justice League Unlimited, and by Lacey Chabert in the Young Justice series, and in the video game Injustice: Gods Among Us. And there you have it. All that you need to know about Zatanna Zatanna. Don't forget, if you like what you've seen here, tell your friends, not just the hot ones, and most importantly, subscribe.